Right, hello. I'm doing this video to talk about dogs. I've had them all my life, and my mum was a very good dog handler in her time, and obviously I've learned things from my own mum, and obviously I've learned a lot myself. Anyways, I'm doing this video because I recently got another dog that had two previous owners before me, and one of my dogs, obviously, that I had as a rescue, she passed away. So I thought, well, I want to rescue another one. Anyway, so I paid the money, took the dog on. He's mine for life. Now, over the years, all my dogs I've ever had have never ever suffered with any tummy problems or anything like that. Out of my whole family that's had dogs, my dad had a boxer, but for years the boxer, since he's had her, has suffered with tummy problems. Anyways, people just put it down to, some dogs are like that and suffer with tummy problems, no different from people. And I kept thinking, right, I've got this new dog that I've took on, and I love him to pieces, and he needs a lot of training. And he's also got some other medical problems. Anyways, cut long story short, I'm going through the motions with my new dog and the training and everything else. And so obviously, like you do, you want to cure your pet, you want to fix them up, you want to do right by them, you want to love them in the right way and do everything best for them. Well, anyways, all my dogs I've had, I've trained them, and never have I ever had to, give them dog treats to train them. I'm not a great believer in it. One, because if I said it to you like this, right? If a person goes to the gym and you do a exercise workout, whatever that may be when you're doing the gym, or even bike riding, or you might be going for a jog or a run, or I make you do weightlifting or get you on a treadmill. And say, for instance, a person, if I turned around and said to you, right, I want you to eat food, I'm going to keep giving you treats, and I want you to get on that treadmill, and I'm going to give you a treat, and I'm going to give you a treat, or just give you food to eat. If I keep giving you food until you go for a jog or a run or something like that, what's going to happen to a person if you keep eating whilst you're doing an exercise, physical exercise? It's going to make you ill. It's going to make you feel really unwell. You might throw up, or might hurt your tummy and cause you long-term problems with your gut. So anyways, cut long story short, it's all well and good, getting back to the dog scenario, right? It's all well and good that you want to treat your dogs. My advice is, if you do not want to destroy your dog's tummy for life, because as much as I love my dad, as much as, I love his dog and all that, and I kept thinking over the years, what does my dad do different with his dog that I don't do with mine? And it got me thinking about that lately and recently, because of my new dog, that I've got for life. And I kept thinking, well, what was it that the last owner, before the first owner, but the second owner, was doing? And then I kept thinking, yeah, they kept telling me to give him treats. And then I kept thinking, well, if I take away them treats, is he trained without these treats? And I kept thinking, oh, that's really strange. So anyways, I cut out these treats, right? And another reason I did is because I noticed my new dog, obviously, he was on dog walks. He was sniffing everything. He was eating anything that he shouldn't be eating, or just eating what he wanted outside. I don't mind if dogs eat grass outside, because like a paracetamol to a person, grass helps, you know, dogs in their own right, in the animal way, yeah? So I thought, right, okay. So I thought, well, I just can't understand it. Then I kept thinking, well, you know, obviously he's got hearing problems, which I've discovered, and I've been treating that. Now, I've been treating him for mites because, you know, you go through the motions, but I'm now a great believer that it isn't mites, that he suffers with ear problems the same as I do. I've got one ear that works and the other one don't work at all, and I suffer with ear infections all my life, on and off. So, you know, just going through the motions. Right, so getting back to the tummy and the treats and all of that, then I kept thinking, what is it that my dad does with his dog? Why has his dog, you know, been like that? And then I kept thinking, my dad loves his dogs, but he feeds them too much. And I kept thinking, yeah, but it doesn't make sense, because when my dad takes his dogs out for a walk, my dad doesn't sit there feeding them full of food or treats. He just takes them for a walk. So he does the right thing there, but he's overfeeding. So maybe that's what it is. But over the years, we found out that his dog is actually a natural dog that has tummy problems, and it's got nothing to do with the food, because my dad doesn't feed his dog when he takes it out for a walk, and he only feeds his dog at home. Anyway, so with my new dog, it got me thinking, well, the previous owners kept saying, you know, the second ones to owning him, and I'm the third owner, kept saying, oh yeah, you know, give him treats, blah, blah, blah. So I kept thinking, all these things the dog is doing when I'm taking him out, training him or walking him, I don't want to be sitting there every 5 minutes going, treat, sit, treat, oh, wait, treat, oh, treat. I don't want to be giving him food when I'm working him, doing a workout exercise. So I do not want to be giving him treats all the time, because it's not good. You know, same as it isn't for a person. When you go to the gym, go for a run, a jog, or, you know, whatever exercise you're doing, you don't sit there going to a human, you know, treat, eat that sandwich, oh, now eat Chris, now have your dinner, now have your afters, eat, 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 eat. You just don't do it, because it causes problems. And, you know, I kept thinking, right, is this, you know, he's not, he looks sort of trained, but he doesn't. So I kept thinking, something right here. So I took away these treats, and obviously I'm doing the proper dog training. So now obviously I've cured a lot of things. He is not sniffing everything all the time, constantly, when I'm out on a dog walk. I've narrowed that right down by doing, you know, lead training and taking away those treats, because I do not want to feed him when I'm working him. Then another thing, he has stopped eating so much of everything outside, because I've had to physically constantly be watching him to make sure that I'm straight on it like a car bonnet and saying, right, take that out of your mouth. No, you know. So it's an ongoing thing. Then obviously the previous owners had put in the bag some wax drops for ears and things, and I didn't know what that was for at the time, because it hadn't been mentioned. I'd only found it in the bag once I got home. And then obviously the only other thing they said was that he eats raw food diet or something. And I thought, well, what's that, raw meat? But anyways, I don't feed my dogs none of that. So I've been obviously going through the motions like you do, because obviously my dad's dog does suffer with constant loose, like, bowels. She's had it for years. So then it got me thinking, you know, sensitive food. You know, you can buy cheap stuff that's sensitive, that's affordable. You don't have to go out and go, oh, £40 or £100 worth of dog food. You can get the same stuff cheaper that does exactly the same thing. So it's, you know, so anyways, I then gone through the motions and I thought, well, I've got some of this. I think you can see it. It says on there, where is it? For itchy dogs who want to feel good. 5-star variation strength formula, whatever it is, easy to feed, tasty pellets for immunity, skin, coat and care. So I'm just putting that in, the little pellets, and they go into the dog food. Let me just open it up and I'll show you. So at the moment I'm going through a load of different things and trying it out. Hang on. You get like a little blue scoopy thing in there, and then if I just scoop some up, I don't know if you can see that, so we'll just show you. Oh, they come in little pellet size like that, and depending on the size of your dog, then what you do is you just put it in with, you know, their weight and mix it in with their food. Now, I've always been a great believer to give complete biscuits, and I also like to give my dogs dog meat. But the best dog meat that I found, that I come across, and I will say it because it is really good, I'm a great believer in Loaf. Let me get a tin. It's called Loaf, and it's called Butcher's. I much prefer the Loaf one because it's more filling. It's more filling, and obviously, you know, it does the job. And I find if you get the ones with the jelly in it, I mean, yeah, they're all right for little old dogs that are losing their teeth or ain't got many teeth and, you know, need a bit of mixture of juices in there. But when you've got like a younger dog, or not so old, or, you know, I prefer the Loaf because it's more filling, and then, you know, they got water to drink, so why do I need the jelly and whatever? So anyways, you get what I'm saying. So I've bought that one, and that's the one that I'm trying out at the moment. Then I've also bought another thing. It says here digestion and all of that, so I'm going through the motions. I will try one of them at a time to go through it, to outrule it. And then the other one we got is this one. And come on, let me get the what's it. I don't know if we can see. I'll read it to you. It's not gonna. It says for solid stools and digestion, itchy and scratchy, and coat growth, health and skin. Right, so at the moment I'm going through the motions of that as well as doing, you know, mite drops at the moment, which at the moment I don't feel that the mite drops is doing much at all. All it's doing is just helping clean the ear, but it's not actually getting rid of it. So obviously I'm going to carry on doing what I'm doing at the moment just to outrule that. And if not, then it's a vet job, because then that tells me it's ear problems and it's ongoing. Not that that bothers me none, because I still love him. Right, so what I'm trying to explain is that, getting back to my dogs I've had in the past, well, none of them have had tummy problems. Then to think back of my dad's dog, why it had tummy problems all its life. And then to think about my new dog that I've got, why he is suffering. Now, I understand people want to treat their animals, right, and train them, but treat and train them indoors with treats when you're not exercising or working them when walking. Because, put it this way, if you want to damage your dog's tummy for life, then just keep giving them treats when you take them out for a dog walk. Because all you're doing is bribing your dog out on a dog walk to do it for food. They're not actually doing it because you've done the hard work and the physical real training with the lead and the dog, and get that real bond going. So like I say, once I took away the treats, it proved to me that my new dog I got is not trained on a lead. he is really not trained. So then I'm putting the hard work in, and it's all about breaking him, moulding him, and making sure that he's paying attention. So I found, since I took away these treats that people say to feed them out and about when exercising them, which you wouldn't do to a person at the gym, obviously I'm seeing a lot of changes, and it's still going to be ongoing. And, you know, his toilet area, depending on, you know, what damage it is that he's got going on, it's either going to be an ongoing thing, or hopefully I might be able to, like, reinverse what's happened and turn it around and get his tummy back to where it should be. But if not, then he's just going to be one of them dogs that has a loose tummy for the rest of his life, unfortunately. But that's not an issue because I still love him. But what else can I say? I just wouldn't advise, you know, to bribe your dogs when out exercising. That's my opinion. If anybody's got dogs out there that suffer with tummy problems, if you do what I do with my dogs, and I've never had no dogs with any tummy problems, only this one that I've recently took on, one, he needed a new home and I wanted a new baby, as all my other ones are getting old and dying, so I've got precious time left with my old grandma ones, you know, or granddad ones or whatever. So it's like, brought a new one in to rub off their traits as well as my training. And, you know, then I've got that for life as my family companion, best friend, and, you know, all of that. But yeah, so getting back to the treat thing, I will tell you exactly what I do with my dogs, right? My dogs, when they're puppies, oh yes, they have the puppy food, and I will feed them depending on the size of the dog, the breed of the dog. You know, if it's a pup, they get 1 tin of dog food, right, which is puppy, and it gets split between the day. And then sometimes I will give them puppy biscuits, or they'll get their, you know, toys, dog bones, whatever. But that's indoors. And then I do the basic training indoors, like anybody does, because you like your dogs to do sit, you know, or lay down or on your bed and all that kind of stuff. I also do crate training as well as, now I know people say, oh, don't sleep with them, blah, blah, blah. Well, let me tell you now, I've slept with all my dogs in my bed, on my sofa, right? And my dogs are fantastic. None of them have got, you know, they're brilliant. And I've got such a close bond with my dogs, right? I also do crate training with them. So whenever I get a new one in, obviously they're not crate trained, so that takes a little bit of, you know, pop to the shops for 20 minutes or whatever it is, come back, and you do short training when it comes to crate training, and then eventually you can break it into a little bit longer. But anyway, so getting back to that, so well, as the dogs get older, right, and they're fully grown, I feed my dogs once a day, right? And I feed them once a day, and they have a full dinner once a day. Now, when you walk your dogs and you've got to take them out for a dog walk, I do not feed my dogs before I take them out on a dog walk. I do not feed my dogs when I first bring them back after a dog walk, because if you think about it like this, you're going to the gym. Are you going to eat a big dinner and go to the gym? You're not, are you? When you come back from the gym, do you want to sit and eat a big dinner after just being to the gym? You don't, do you? So why would you do it to your dog? You wouldn't. You don't feed your dog before you go out walking them, exercising them. You do not feed your dog when you come straight back after a walk, exercising them. You let them settle their tummies, you let them settle themselves and lay down and relax. At the end of the day, right, you give your dog their dinner. Once their whole body is relaxed and their tummy is settled after exercising them. And I find that works brilliant. I've never had any dogs with any tummy problems. Another thing I noticed, having my new dog, now, when I do food time with my dogs, I can put food on the floor for my dogs, and they do not fight over their own bowl when other dogs come over. They do not fight over each other's bowls either. And I noticed that my new dog, I'm feeding all my dogs like I've always done. Put all the bowls down. They've all got their individual dog bowl to eat out of. And I watch them all and I make them wait before giving it to them and all that. Anyways, I noticed that one of my other dogs just finished eating their dinner. They wasn't hungry anymore. They just went over to see what they had in their bowl. And he grumbled. Now, I don't tolerate that, right? So obviously, put him in his place, told him off. And no, I didn't have to hit him, right? So then I got him to sit, done all that, made him wait. Then I put the food bowl back down. And another thing I had to do as well was hold the food bowl and let him eat out of the food bowl when it's dinner time, right? Because it tells me, because I have heard another person who I got talking to out and about, I said, oh yeah, you know, just keep their dog food on you at all times and feed them throughout the day whilst you're out there, give them their food, but just don't feed them their dinner because you've got your dinner on you all day long. And I think, well, how can you starve your dog, right, and take away its normal dinner but feed it throughout the day, bribing it with food? And then I'm thinking, that dog must be freaking starving because it ain't getting a proper dinner at the end of the day. But then also you're fucking up, sorry my language, the dog's stomach because you're sitting there giving it food whilst exercising it. So I'm thinking, but then that means you're not really training or breaking your dog in or training it. So then I'm thinking, don't get that. So I listened, took it on board and thought, well, I don't want to be doing that. I want my dog to be trained. I want to walk out with my dog on a lead or you know, off a lead and know that I know my dog inside out and I know it. But obviously with my new one it's a bit different. Don't think it's ever going to be off lead because ear problems. So if my dog ain't going to hear me properly when I'm out on a dog walk and I want it off lead, well, can't afford to have that happen. So me being a responsible owner just means my dog will be on a lead and I will find other ways to do other different training where, you know, can't be off lead. But only time will tell, and months or years or whatever, but we'll see. But I don't think so, we'll see. But anyway, so yeah, I'm just trying to, you know, put it out there. Stop bribing your dogs with food and their tummies and then taking them out exercising them. It's not good. People don't go to the gym and we don't sit there feeding you a whole dinner before you go gym, and we don't feed you a big dinner when you come back from the gym. And you know, when we eat our food, we like our stomach to be settled and we like to eat food when we're more chilled and relaxed. But yeah, so getting back with the bowl thing, been doing the bowl training and all of that to make sure, and he's obviously getting a lot better. He's not doing it now. So there is a lot of things about treats. You know, if you want your dog to be possessive over a food bowl when you put it on the floor because you're treating it, then carry on doing it. You're just going to destroy the dog. If you want your dog to have behavioural problems, just keep treating it. Do what you're doing because you're just going to fuck up the dog. Keep giving it treats, you know, whilst walking and exercising it, you're just going to fuck up its guts. So keep going. And it'll either be able to be refixed or your dog's just going to have tummy problems for the rest of its life. So, yeah, I mean, in very small cases, like my dad's dog, he doesn't take his dog out and feed it. When he takes his dog out, he takes it out normal. So we know that we can outrule that with my dad's dog that it actually has a medical condition with its guts. So that's different. But where my new dog, obviously, I'm still trying to outrule if I can, like, turn this around with his tummy, or it might be where he's already, like, nearly a year old. He's just going to be stuck with it because of people feeding him at wrong times and exercising him and bribing him with food. So, you know, we'll see. I'm going to outrule a lot of things at the minute. So, anyways, he's mine. I've got him for life, and he's not going back anywhere. He's mine now. So, I'm putting in the hard work. I'm the one breaking him in, doing the hard work and the training, and putting the love in and all of that. So, by the end of it, he will be like my dogs. He will be proper trained. And how can I put it? If you're going to feed your dogs and treat them, only do it indoors. But remember, before taking them out for a walk, do not feed them at least like 2 hours before taking them out, maybe at least an hour and a half before taking them out on a dog walk. And when they come back from a dog walk, don't feed them for at least an hour after the dog walk, or maybe an hour and a half, just to make sure their tummies are settled before giving them their dinner once a day. But yeah, definitely do not replace your dog's normal 1 day meal of dinner a day, you know, with little tiny treats all day long, you know, because that's not a proper sort of tummy dinner for the dog. I mean, that's like getting a human being going, I'm going to give you little sweeties all day long, and I'm going to keep giving you sweeties. I mean, it's like behaviour. Talking about children for a minute, example. If you've got a child and your child's being naughty and it's showing off and stamping his feet going, I want, you don't go, here's a little treat, take your sweets, here you go. You just don't do it, you know. So if you want your child to have a bad behaviour problem as a child or growing up, just keep bribing it with sweeties. You know, you just wouldn't do it. You know, you don't want a child with behavioural problems, do you? Because next you'll be going to the therapist. So obviously, don't do it with your dogs. Is the key factor answer to that. Don't give them treat and take away their real big dinner that they get once a day, and it will stop them from fighting over their food bowl in their dinner when it's dinner time. It will also stop them from sniffing everything and everywhere. It will stop them from trying to eat everything out and about. I also learnt that my new dog, there was a thing on his card saying he has to have Puriton. I thought, what's he got to have Puriton for? What allergies is he suffering from? But now I know what it is. Not only where he was sniffing everything, he was catching his face with stinger nettles, he was eating things he shouldn't be eating, and God knows what. So again, like I say, took away those treats that I'm not a great believer in when exercising my dog. And, you know, I'm seeing improvements. I'm seeing, like, different turnarounds, you know. And obviously, I've only had him, like, so long. But obviously, in the future, time I'm done with training him, he's going to be so broken in, he's going to be fantastic. Just like all my other dogs that I've put all the hard work and love into, you know, and had for years. But it's like, maybe, I don't know, if certain places, I mean, when you see these people on the TV and treating, I don't understand why they've got to bribe the animal, your pet, or new pet, you're bribing it to love you. That ain't love. And you're basically bribing it to do what you want it to do. But if you take away those treats, and then you go and get your dog lead or whatever, you watch your dog, don't do it then. You watch your dog play up something chronic. You watch your dog be so ignorant and ignore you and not pay attention to you. And that's because it's sitting there going, well, you treat me. You give me treat. I'm stamping my feet like a child does. I want my sweets. So you can see where this is going. And then obviously it can cause not just these sort of problems that I've talked about at the moment, which can be either ongoing or it can be maybe fixed and turned around if stopped soon enough in the lifespan of your animal or pet. You know, you've got to understand that you wouldn't do it to your child, so why would you do it then to your pet, your dog, your best friend, companion? You just wouldn't. I think you'd be better off if you're going to train your dog. I'd rather you take a bloody dog toy out, right? And I'm not talking about balls, because balls is the worst thing to do. If you sit there teaching your dog about footballs and all of that, and I'm taking my dog out to the park or outside, and my dog then goes, oh, there's a ball, I want that ball. Rah! I don't want that. I mean, it's one thing when people use tennis balls as training. That's different kettle of fish, because they're training them with the tennis ball for a certain reason in a field of line of work, right? But they do it in the right way. But yeah, definitely don't want to be teaching them about balls outside, because when I walk my dog, I don't want it showing off and going off. I mean, I've noticed, there's a few other problems that I've got to fix with my new dog, because obviously, definitely doesn't like little children. Found that one out. No, he hasn't bitten anybody. No, because I'm a responsible owner, right? So I know what I'm doing with my dog. But it's like he don't like foxes. We could go on with the list, right? But what I'm saying is the same mannerisms for that ball is the same mannerisms as he treats, little kids. Big kids, fine. But what you don't understand is I can train my dog out of that, right? And like I was saying to somebody else, that if this carries on, the bad behaviours of the dog will get worse and worse, to the point it will be very hard to turn that around. So obviously I know for a full fact I could change that around and fix it, but I didn't realise that the dog ain't even really trained unless you're going treat, 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 treat. I don't want to be doing that. So it's back to the drawing board, and it's basically starting off with an older dog like it's a puppy. So I'm going back, and you basically got to do all that lead training. I've got to put all that work in, and then I've got to correct all these bad behaviours that the dog's picked up, not just by treats, but also by, getting away with it like a naughty child. So it's like, bloody hell. And all that jumping up and teethy business. Well, previous owner said that he did all that. But I fixed this, you